Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon Emerald with only Steel-type Pokemon was a fun team run. Let's follow that up with a really brutal-sounding solo run. Today's the day we figure out would I be able to beat Pokemon X with a team of only one Chansey. I'm just gonna say up front that the early game is probably gonna be borderline impossible until I level up to a truly comical degree. Why? Well, Exhibit 1 is our stats. Absolutely amazing health with the worst attack and defense you've ever seen. For sure not hopeless, and actually a very fun Pokemon, but usually it's a part of a team, not alone. Exhibit B is our level up moves. You notice anything weird? Whew. We don't learn any special moves, just physical. That's with a base attack of 5, so we really are not going to be doing any damage. Lastly is Exhibit C, the TM moves. I know what you're thinking, there's a lot of really great special attacks here. What's the problem? We don't get our hands on a single special attack TM until we can learn Charge Beam after the 4th gym. That includes both the insanely hard rock gym as well as the fighting gym right after it. Both types that are going to give us some serious problems. Like always, I'm writing this script as I go through with the challenge, so all of this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. Well, I legit don't think I'm getting a special move until something insane like level 70, but once we pick up some special attacks, I think we're going to do a lot better and maybe even win in the end. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use Chansey. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. So, right off the bat, I use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Fennekin with Chansey so that we can do the whole run with it. I name him Chansey Drew, like last time. Check this one out. I thought I was gonna just spend forever restarting to get both Good Nature and Serene Grace, but it only took like 5 or 6 tries. I would have been okay with either attack or defense down, neither one would have really done anything, but having special attack up and Serene Grace were probably necessary. The other ability was Natural Cure, and that wouldn't have helped us at all, and losing something like Speed or Special Defense probably would have made us lose in the end, so I'm pretty happy with this ability in nature. Alright, so I have no idea how the early gyms are gonna go. Okay, well hold on, that's a lie. I know exactly how the rock gym is gonna go. Awful, like it always does, but the other two fights I don't know. Bug Gym and Sycamore. I figure that we might have so much health that Sycamore isn't an issue, but if he uses Leech Seed, then we could get brickwalled for a long time. Like, getting Leech Seeded in a solo Chansey run is a worst case scenario. We'd be healing them way more than we could damage them. But maybe he doesn't use that. In the Bug Gym, I'm sure that they can't hurt us that much, but Infestation probably could. And maybe she uses that, or maybe she doesn't. She picks weird moves in that fight. All I know is that I'm probably gonna have to do some light EV training. Normally I don't, because I like playing through just a little bit more casually than that, but considering just how wild of a range Chansey's special attack can be, I want to make sure that I'm on the higher end of that range. Not that I can EV train that much considering how much I'm gonna be grinding on the very first Pokemon in the game. Chansey's special attack could be really low, but it could also get pretty high. If both our attack and our special attack are low, then we are doomed in a solo run. I'll find some early game special attack EV Pokemon to fight for a while, if I can get that far. Then I'll try the Bug Gym. Also, I don't know if you've been watching the screen or if you're just listening to this on the side while you do chores, but I just lost to Shauna at the start of the game. She didn't even have special dialogue for me losing. I don't think they ever anticipated that would happen. We are just so weak that a few growls left us doing only 1 damage. Early game travel is gonna be crazy slow. I lost to the first real trainer with his level 5 Zigzagoon too, so I guess I gotta grind against level 3 Pidgeys for a while. So the Bug Gym ended up not exactly being hard since we can heal with Soft Boil, but it did take ages. Infestation did indeed do a decent amount of damage, but with the ability to heal, it wasn't a real issue. Alright, Sycamore only took 2 tries, but it was a crazy fight. The first try was an instant loss to Leech Seed, but on the second try, Bulbasaur used Growl a lot. We got the knockout, but our attack is down a ton. Next is Squirtle, who couldn't really hurt us all that much. Soft Boiled really does keep us safe. It took a while, but he went down, and last is Charmander, who was just the worst. He kept burning us with Ember and using Smokescreen to ruin our accuracy. We already do almost no damage. Burns and misses on top of that makes it so much worse. I'm lucky that Chansey learns Refresh really early, so I can at least get rid of the burns. We won, but this fight took forever. Man, I love that using the randomizer messes up what Kanto starter you're offered. Hey guys, what's your favorite Kanto starter? Fennekin, Wurmple, or Duskull? Personally, I'm a Duskull kind of guy, but you let me know what your favorite Kanto starter is in the comments. Oh, and of course, on our way to the rock gym, I took the jaw fossil. I knew that if I didn't say what I took, you'd all ask. Actually, now that I think about it, everyone ask anyway. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. You know, I got told the other day that people in the Elden Ring challenge community, I guess, do the fossil gag now too. I wonder how many of them actually know that that came from me. I feel like I've been doing it for so long now, like 6 years now. It's been telephone game for so long. I think some people reference it and they don't know that came from me. It's kind of funny how these things kind of spread out into wider internet culture, you know? It's kind of like how I gave my template that I made for responding to copyright claims to one person, and then they spread it to the whole internet and never gave me credit for it. If you've ever seen that copyright response template that starts with, "I believe this claim was made in error," yeah, that was me. I handwrote that. Got no credit for it. Thanks. Alright, check out this first try at the rock gym. So I'm holding a rocky helmet, so they take damage when they hit me. I'm spamming minimize, and I can heal, and I can remove Thunder Wave. Despite that, I knew this was gonna be horrible. I mean, look at the damage we're dealing. I was seriously worried about running out of power points going into the fight just because of how little damage we dealt. Plus, anytime they hit us, they hit hard. Both of his Pokemon can two-shot us. I actually got really lucky on this first try since we took out his first Pokemon, so we actually got to Tyrant. We eventually fainted when he had about half health, but I think I was on pace to run out of power points anyway. I don't get any better moves for this fight, so I literally just have to level up until we can win this. We'd probably have to be close to level 100 to win this if not for the Rocky Helm, I'm gonna be honest. Make your guesses on what level we need to be. I'm thinking somewhere between like level 32 and level 35. Alright, now this took several tries at level 30, but it was actually easier than a lot of rock gyms of the past. We do almost no damage with Pound, even if we crit. But I realized that we absolutely can make them faint as long as we stay healthy. It's easier said than done because they use Rock Tomb to get the speed advantage and Bite to make us flinch, but we're holding a Rocky Helm and that makes them take recoil damage. Well, because we have incredibly low defense but high health, the recoil damage we deal in return is actually a lot of damage. In the end, we won by just maxing out evasion so that we wouldn't get hit too often, then we stayed healthy with Refresh and Soft Boiled. Well, that's not really how I thought things were gonna go at all, but I don't really think that things are gonna get any easier. We have a rival fight in the Fighting Gym, and I'm sure that's gonna be awful, but before either of those, we have this extra weird fight that you have to do with the Fighting Gym leader where she uses 2 Lucarios. Normally I don't bother showing it because it's an easy fight, but I think that'll actually be really hard this time. I mean, they're steel so they resist us, and fighting type so they're good against us. Unless the Rocky Helmet can save us again, I think this could be a brick wall for a while. Well, we instantly got 2-shot before we could do any damage at all. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to be trying this fight for a very long time. Hey, at least I should have my effort values maxed out by now. I never even got a chance to train them intentionally since I was stuck grinding against Pidgeys for so long, but whatever. I can use rare candies and it won't mess with our stats at this point. Make your guesses on what level we need to be to win this at, because I'm gonna say, like, 50 to 60? Level 40! Now he spams stuff like Swords Dance when we minimize. After a few rounds of that, we did maybe 10 damage to him and then we fainted him on hit. Was I too generous saying level 50 to 60? Alright, so I got up to level 50, not even at the 3rd gym yet, by the way, and now the first Power Up Punch does next to nothing. I'm sure we could still get messed up pretty badly if they built up and hit us, but thanks to Minimize and being able to take more hits, we were finally able to win this one. Pound is still just crazy weak though. I cannot wait to get a better move. Hey, check this out. On my way to the next major fight, we ran into a trainer with a Ghost type. Naturally, I can't hit it at all, so I was trying to run out of power points, but he ended up taking himself out on our Rocky Helmet before we got to that point. Man, the Rocky Helmet is absolutely saving us. Like, how would this run be going right now if I didn't have that? I still can't wait for us to just get a special move, though. The rival after that actually wasn't too bad, although it's mostly because we're such a high level. Between that and Soft Boil and Minimize, we can survive a lot. They have to surprise us with a pretty nasty crit for us to not be able to heal in time. Alright, the fighting gym is going to be a serious problem. Her Mind Fu wasn't bad, but Hawlucha right after always buffs his accuracy and then absolutely obliterates us with Flying Press. I really don't like that he has a counter for our Minimize. All I can do is keep leveling up and hope at some point Hawlucha takes himself out with recoil damage. Alright, an entire 10 levels later and at level 65, and you know what happened? The exact same thing. They build up a little bit and then hit Flying Press and it takes out over 300 of our health to easily make us faint. It's awful. Am I really not going to beat the third gym until close to level 80? I'm tempted to take a move like Strength to do a little more damage and maybe get lucky, but I don't get to the move deleter for so long that I don't want to get stuck with a trash move for ages after getting our special moves. I'm sorry, what was this? At level 70, I used 3 Minimizes and then Hawlucha just hit us 3 times in a row without increasing his accuracy first. Am I missing something? None of Hawlucha's abilities help with landing hits, and Flying Press doesn't have some kind of special accuracy property. It's just a fighting move that's also good against stuff that's weak to flying types. I just tried the fight again, and it happened again. Okay, there has to be something I'm missing, right? Guys, I figured it out with the help of Twitter. Buried here in the pile of text about all of the weird interactions the move has is a note that it can't miss if you use Minimize, and we take double damage if we do. That's horrible. I don't know how we can win this without Minimize. I gotta try though. Well, I can last a little bit longer in the fight if I don't use Minimize thanks to Flying Press doing less damage, but we still lose really badly every time. Hone Claws still makes it hit way too hard for us to win. I legit might have to be level 80 to win this. Guys, I finally did it. At level 75, after a few attempts, we finally got this run where the damage lined up just perfectly, that after dealing tons of recoil damage, we could just hardly finish it off with Pound. And after getting that knockout, Machoke was pretty easy with Minimize, Soft Boiled, and Pound. What a horrible fight. I'm gonna go grab the leftovers for a better held item, although I think the Rocky Helmet might still be more useful until we have a special move. I'll probably swap them here and there, we'll find out. After that was the rival, but she does so little damage that she was super easy to take down on the first try. What wasn't easy was the Grass Gym. Literally the first turn and we got hit by Leech Seed. It may not have hurt us very much, but it fully heals him every turn, so we literally can't deal damage. I guess I have to try over and over until Leech Seed never hits. I know that in the past it was random if you'd use that or not. Maybe we can get lucky. So I had to try this a bunch of times and just restart every time when we got hit by Leech Seed, but it really wasn't that bad. It only took about 3 more tries before we finally got this try where he mostly just used acrobatics. The entire rest of his team was easy, and that means we can finally get some new moves. Right away, I go to the desert to get Charge Beam, and then I use it to fight on my way back to Lumios where I can now get Echoed Voice. I figure both of these moves are gonna rock, but Echoed Voice is for sure what I'm gonna use for the next many fights. We have the Electric Gym, our rival, the Fairy Gym, our rival again, and then the Psychic Gym. And I figure it's pretty much just gonna be a sweep for all of them because of how high our level is. Plus, this game has reusable TMs, so I can switch moves back and forth between gyms to use whatever one will help us most in the moment. Let's go have some smooth sailing for once. Alright, first is the Electric Gym, and Echoed Voice quickly started sweeping. It only starts off as a 40 power normal move, but its power increases by 40 each time you use it in a row up to a max of 200. Interestingly enough, even if the move misses or gets blocked in some way, it maintains power, so we don't need to worry about stuff like Protect or Dig breaking the flow. Just as long as we use it every turn, it builds then maintains its power. Naturally, our rival right after was incredibly easy. You know what wasn't though? The Fairy Gym, because Mr. Mime has soundproof. Hold on, I'll just learn Charge Beam. We have Serene Grace, so it's gonna boost our special attack every turn. It's a pretty sweet combo. Alright, after switching out for Charge Beam, we obviously very quickly won the fight, no problem. After that is our rival, but this fight was basically free. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if she's ever gonna stand a chance at this point. With the level we're at, we could probably already win the final rival fight on the first try. Unless she can put us to sleep on the first turn, Leech Seed us, or hit a crazy physical attack, we're fine. After that is the Psychic Gym, and this was a bit slower than I was expecting. And it's all because Slowking likes using Yawn. Obviously, we don't take much damage while we're asleep, but it does break our Echoed Voice streak. Even though you have to use it every turn to maintain it, and it doesn't matter if it hits or not, trying to use it in your sleep doesn't count as using it, so she broke our flow a few times. Alright, we're traveling to the Lysandre fight now, and although we'll probably be fine, I do think there's a slight possibility he'll be a problem. He's got a Mind Fu that turns into Mind Shao over the course of the fights, and it loves using a high jump kick, a move that I'm sure is going to do crazy damage if it hits. Now, if I really wanted to be mean, I'm sure I could use Minimize to make a miss, but I don't even think that'll be necessary. You know, it's funny, I went into this fight thinking that I would just load up on stuff like Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Echoed Voice, Flamethrower, you know, all these powerful special moves that have good side effects. But right now, I just don't really see a reason to get rid of Refresh and Soft Boiled. I'm kinda tempted to get rid of Minimize, though. Yeah, it's really good, but now that I have real attacks, I don't feel like I need it quite as much anymore. I'm thinking I might replace it with another attack so that we have more variety and just hang on to our Soft Boiled and Refresh for safety for the time being. We'll see, though. Alright, well the first Lysandre fight was really easy. They really couldn't do anything to us, and we took them out easily. The problem is the second Lysandre fight where High Jump Kick nails us for 498 damage. Yeah, we obviously couldn't win after that. I guess it's a good thing that I didn't get rid of Minimize yet. I'll have to use that. Well, thankfully on the very first try I did with Minimize, everything went fine. He used Swords Dance first, so we got an extra Minimize before he could attack, causing him to miss High Jump Kick twice. Easy fight, but how will the last Lysandre fight go? Well, the last Lysandre fight took a few tries because High Jump Kick actually one-shots us now rather than leaving us in red, so we can't take a single hit from it. But still, it really wasn't that bad. I can't tell you how happy I am that I kept Minimize though, because if I didn't, then I don't have a clue how I'd have won this. It's not like I can learn Psychic yet to hope for a one-shot. Naturally, Sycamore after that was easy as he always is, and after that is our friends on the bridge, but none of them were a problem. It's funny, as long as we aren't up against a fighting type, then usually it's pretty easy to take down almost anything. The Ice Gym after that was easy too, although I'm starting to get to the point where I feel Echoed Voice is getting weaker. Often the first Pokemon from random trainers will take 3 hits to make Faint before we've built up enough power to sweep, and any Rock or Steel types tend to not be a one-shot even after we've built up a lot of power. Last before the Elite Four is our rival again, but just like before, it was crazy easy, no problem at all. There were actually trainers in Victory Road that were much worse because of stuff like Curse, or just them having good fighting moves. I don't know how the Elite Four is gonna go though. Now that we're at the Elite Four, let's take a look at our stats. Well, our health just passed 600, so that's pretty insane, and I'm actually pretty happy with our special attack. It's for sure on the higher end of what we can get with a Chansey, but it's not really that close to what you'd get if you EV trained and had perfect IVs. I'm not totally sure if I can beat the Elite Four, but I think if I'm careful to switch moves between each Elite Four member, then maybe this can work. I wish I had Flamethrower for Wickstrom, but I talked to the lady who gives it to you at the time that it says to talk to her on Bulbapedia, and she gave me Substitute instead. I don't know if I messed up or if the wiki did. I just know that I can't use Echoed Voice in that fight or the Fire fight since they both have a Ghost type, so I'm gonna have to figure something else out. Make your final guesses on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. First is Water Trainer Cybald. First try and we get our 3 Minimizes in and hit some Charge Beams to take out his first Pokemon. We gotta heal a bit since he's got a fighting move that doesn't miss, but it doesn't really hurt that much. I think it targets our special defense. The problem is second is Barbarnacle and he instantly one-shots us with Cross Chop. How did he land that after 3 Minimizes on the first try? Do you have any idea how lucky that is? Okay, next try, and thanks to getting stuck in a full restore loop with his first Pokemon for ages, we ended up with a way more special attack from Charge Beam. We still nearly lost when we were running out of power points on Charge Beam, but thankfully the last beam took out his last Pokemon, so we got a win. Second is Dragon Trainer Drasna. This one was crazy easy though, we pretty much swept with Ice Beam. I'm sure Druddigon could have one-shot us with Revenge if it hit, but once again, Minimize totally saved us. I can't stress enough how happy I am that I didn't ditch Minimize. At this point, I think Soft Boiled is the most likely thing I'll ditch, weirdly enough. I could always use Leftovers and hope for the best. Third is Steel Trainer Wickstrom. First try, and although a few Shadow Balls can take out Klefki, I don't like how many power points it took up. Second is Aegislash though, and despite maxing out our evasion, he just hit Sacred Sword twice in a row to knock us out. I looked it up, there's no special mechanic around hitting me with that move, he just got really lucky. Okay, well on the next try, I never get hit by Torment, so I get to pick whatever move I want, and although Aegislash still hits us, we took him out a lot faster. After that, the fight was pretty easy, although we kept making them flinch off our King's Rock, even though they were on Pokemon that we probably did not need to make flinch. I think I need to stick with Shadow Ball for the next fight, so maybe I'll grab something like the Rocky Helmet to help us deal damage. Fourth is Fire Trainer Malva. Oh, this is a bad start. I didn't realize that Pyroar is part normal type, or Shadow Ball isn't gonna work. Okay, maybe Charge Beam? I'm kinda worried it's gonna run out of power points. You know what, maybe I don't need Refresh anymore. Maybe I'll ditch that for Calm Mind and use Thunderbolt instead. So this actually took a few tries, because Talonflame seems to always hit us with a big move, no matter how many times I use Minimize, but after a few we simply survived it and pretty easily Thunderbolted down his whole team. Calm Mind absolutely was the right call, and it might be the only way that we can survive this Pokemon champion. Finally, the Pokemon champion Diantha. First is Hawlucha, and it's got Body Press, so we're in danger and I can't Minimize right away. It took out 2/3 of our health with Flying Press, but between the recoil damage of the Rocky Helmet and our Thunderbolt being super effective, we got the knockout. Second is Goodra, and I knew it could hardly hurt us with its special moves, so I spammed our 3 Minimizes and 6 Calm Minds right away. She landed some hits, but did almost nothing to us. Our Thunderbolts were being resisted, and weren't doing as much damage as I had hoped, and she held on longer with healing items, but eventually we knocked her out too. Tyrantrum survived the first hit just to use a full restore and get 1 shot on the second hit, and Ariados got 1 shot. Second from last was Gourgeist, who we ended up paralyzing twice in a row as it full restored to remove the first one. That's Serene Grace at work right there. Last is Gardevoir, and I was worried about our power points. We weren't able to get a 1-shot, but on our very last Thunderbolt, we scored the knockout and won the run. Well, that one was completely insane. One of the worst early games I've had in a long time, followed by some pretty smooth sailing for the most part. There were a lot of random trainers that gave me issues, but for the most part, that was a really fun run. The next Pokemon Challenge should be up next Saturday, like usual, with this year's Christmas episode. I don't know what I'm doing yet for it, though, so I've still got to figure that out. It'll be a surprise. I guess that's your present. As always, I'm looking at your suggestions in the comments in the challenge request section of my Discord channel and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. Outro time. Oh man, I have like no air in my lungs right now. I know like I mouth breathe pretty loudly doing these voiceovers in general because my sinuses are just the worst thing in the world. But this run especially, like, oh, I was slightly lightheaded at certain points during this one. I've been having some minor breathing troubles the last, I don't know, week or so, and it's been really rough. I don't know, it feels like I got this crazy tightness in, like, my collarbone area, sometimes on, like, the left side of my chest. It's not my heart, before anyone assumes. Every time I ever see a doctor about this, they make me go to a cardiologist, the same cardiologist, and every time he's like, well, your heart's fine. Oh, I don't know. Something's out of place. Something hasn't been taken care of right. I've been a little bit lax with my physiotherapy at-home exercises lately as the last few months of doing all the Haven stuff and just all the work I gotta do. Kind of fell behind on that and everything. Been having digestive problems at the same time, which really haven't been helping. This is the first week, the week I'm doing this voiceover at least, is the first week that I've had kind of an easy work week since before August? Yeah, I guess since before August. So it's, oh man, I even got to take yesterday off. I don't get to take days off anymore. That was so nice. I was having such a rough time that day, mind you. I didn't get to enjoy it fully, but I'm just so thankful that at least I'm having these rougher body days on a week where I can take it a little bit easier. But I still gotta do the voiceover, of course, and then I gotta sit down at work, and sitting down is the worst part, because, like, if I'm walking, it's not so bad. If I'm laying down, it's not so bad, because I'm, like, stretched out, I'm kind of upright. If I have to sit down, even if I sit down in, like, really good posture, then at least for, like, the first half of the day, then I feel like I can't breathe. Like, my chest just feels compressed in. It's really rough. As the day goes on, it tends to get better, though. I think part of it is, like, my neck and shoulder muscles kind of locking up while I sleep, and it slowly hunches me in while I sleep, and then I gotta, like, recover from that for hours when I get up. Dude, it's brutal. But as long as I keep up with my physiotherapy stuff, it'll probably get better in the next few days or so. I'm hoping, so I don't want to talk too much longer. I'm already a little bit lightheaded. So just real quick, for the $50 supporters, both on the YouTube members and over on the Patreon, I just want to give some shoutouts to Jacob Busby, Javid Khosrow, Grayson Fitz, Tara Louise, Alessandra Hedgeblog, and Joel Man. Thank you again, man, for the continued support, because it's what keeps the lights on. I need to go get some breakfast into me. Oh wow, I'm getting hoarse. I don't think that's the chest thing. I think that's because the air is unbelievably dry in my place today, and it's been really cold and windy lately. And like, again, my sinuses are bad, so at night I mouth breathe a lot, and it starts, I wake up with like a sore throat pretty often, and sometimes, I'm sure it's not good for my respiratory system. Okay, yeah. No, I am actually getting really scratchy now. I don't know how much that's coming through in microphone. I should shut up. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.